Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Brothas-in-law. I'm Corey, and my co-host tonight, Mr. Michael Bradley. He and I are prior law enforcement officers. I'm a former Virginia State Trooper with 7 years of service. Mike is a retired Pleasanton, California police officer, and he did 26 years, and together with the Brothas-in-law. We got a good show for you lined up tonight. Most of you probably seen the video already. And it's an interesting topic because I think a lot of people might have the wrong misconception of what they can and cannot do when they get pulled over by the police and get a ticket. Not necessarily a ticket for speeding, whatever the violation be, or in this instance here, you could be in a park after hours and you ain't supposed to. So what do when that happens and you get that ticket? And you'll find out what happened to this lady. And Mike and I would tell you, like usual, if this is what a reasonable officer would do and how she followed the acronym of calm, would this incident even happen? And again, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it got the national attention as some of these other incidents that have taken place, has it?
No, it didn't. And it's probably because everybody involved in here was black. So there was
whoa. Say that again. Say that again.
Everybody involved in this deal was black. I mean, the officers were black. Everybody was black. So it doesn't fit that mold of what the media likes to throw out there all the time. But, right. It's funny because, like you say, I think it's an important topic. And people don't really know what it means to sign a ticket. They don't know what that signature means. But hopefully after the show, they'll know real quick. You know what I'm saying? Don't walk away without signing your ticket, folks. And this is a good one that was accelerated, and it gotten out of hand for one small decision that should have been made.
That's right, and it shouldn't have had to go that way. So before we jump into it, as usual, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell up top, or actually it'll be at the bottom of your screen there. So you stay up to date of Mike and I going live every Thursday evening, 8 o'clock. And if you find value in this, leave us a comment below why you like this show and what was your takeaway from it. So now, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna start the video, Mike, at 6 minutes and 31 seconds into it, because I'm gonna start it where the media started the video, and then we'll back it up, and then we'll get the full context of what happened, so you see how the media plays on it to make it seem like, the officer is at fault. So we'll start it at that, and as usual, we see something important in it that we need to address, we'll stop it, we'll address it, and get y'all's opinions of what y'all think, and let's make this a learning experience for everyone.
Hey, Katrina. Hey, Tone. Hey, Goat. I see you. Thanks for joining us, y'all.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let's go ahead and get into this. Again, I'm started it already. So what you're seeing now is what you would have saw if you would have seen this on the news. And this took place, Mike, what was it, last week? Last week on the 9th.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that I'm going.
Sir,
I'm going to
sir, you do not have to grab it like that.
I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to sign the ticket. Why am I being arrested? Can you please tell me why I'm being arrested? Oh my God! I'm so scared. My God, please, in the name of Jesus, please, God, in the name. Why am I being arrested, Mr. Brooks? I'm going to sign the ticket. Mr. Brooks, why am I being arrested? Why am I being arrested? I don't understand why I'm being arrested. Can you please tell me why I'm being arrested?
Turn around and put your hands behind
your back. Tell me why I'm being arrested. I have the right. I have the right to know. Oh my God.
Put your hands behind your back. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
What are you taking her for? Why are you pulling out?
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Come on, sir. This is unnecessary. What are you doing? This is over. This whole park.
Why am I being arrested?
put your down. Just put your hands behind your back.
I don't understand why I'm being arrested. That's why I'm not putting my hands behind my back. I'm not giving me a reason. So why am I getting? I'm not. You didn't have to tell me my rights or tell me why I'm being arrested. That's exactly why I'm not putting my hands behind my back.
So you have no regular Miranda rights to none of that.
Oh my God!
All right, now, Mike. Now,
all that drama, all that yelling and screaming, but yet
right,
she want to be resistive enough to know that I ain't putting my hands behind my back because you ain't telling me why I'm being arrested. You know, all that drama.
Put it in, let's put it in context now from the very beginning, right? And now you're gonna see she was told, she was given opportunity, but she want to be Miss Sassy in the beginning, and now look where you end up. So we're gonna start it down from the very beginning of the officer's body cam.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Hello.
All right. Well, I see the Ohio time. I'm not sure if y'all from here or not, but you can't be inside the park in the city of Atlanta between the hours 11 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Pause it for a minute.
Got your IDs on you? You have your IDs on you?
All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna need them.
Real quick,
Go ahead.
folks, to give you a little bit more context of how this officer came to be. It sounds like they're doing special enforcement at parks after dark. They've been having a lot of crime stuff going on in the parks after dark. So they do have an ordinance, which most cities do, where you can't be in the park after dark. You could get a ticket for that. You could get a warning. You get a lot of things for that. But that's why he's ended up contacting them in the first place. He's doing his job. He's enforcing that ordinance because they've had problems in this park. He is doing enforcement to enforce the laws that are already in place about being in the park after dark.
Right. Correct. And I'd be willing to bet too, Mike, that this is pretty standard across the nation. I know we have ordinance like this as well in our local parks. So there's no excuse, even if they were from Ohio, according to what the license plates was saying that he was reading off. And it could have been that necessarily mean they're from Ohio, could have just having a rental vehicle, but it doesn't matter where you are. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Right. And this is a very low key contact here. Very low key.
Right, very.
At least that's what it should be.
Correct.
Low key. I'm gonna give you a ticket for being in the park after dark and move on. You know what I'm saying? Follow that CALM acronym. If they would have followed that CALM acronym, none of this would have ever happened. But let's proceed to give the people what they need.
You have your ID now? All right, just stand by. I'll be right back with you.
All right, now I'm gonna fast forward it
All right.
up to the ticket.
All right.
Let me back that up a little bit here.
All right, sir. Like I explained to you, you can't be in the park at night. Everyone's just gonna receive a simple ticket stating that he was in the park at the hour. All right, let me get a sign right on that.
Now,
What am I signing over? Is it a charge or anything? Or
It's just a ticket.
it's just a ticket.
That's the ticket. But you got to sign the ticket to acknowledge, number one, you received the ticket, and number two, you'll show up in court if need be.
And I have to sign it?
You can not sign it and go to jail. It's this one here.
Pretty
I
clear.
stop that. See, that right there is very important for you to understand, folks. He said, do I have to sign it? He told the officer said came back and said you cannot sign it and go to jail.
That's right.
All right.
That's
like
right.
Mike said a second ago, there's no, you don't have, I don't want to say, well, yeah, you have to sign it. There's no way around it. Either you sign the summons or citation or go to jail.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason why you got to go to jail if you refuse to sign the citation or summons is because without your signature, you are not acknowledging that you even got contacted or that you were even advised of the law. You're not acknowledging that you're willing to show up in court to answer for this violation or anything. So we need you to sign the ticket to acknowledge that you received it and that you will show up in court to answer for this ticket if need be. It's very important.
Right.
If you don't, well, we got to take you to jail at that moment, at that time. You got to be booked into jail to ensure that you go to court. What do you say, Corey?
And I don't want to jump the gun, but it's not open for discussions either.
No.
And you also have to understand that we're not going to beg and plead you to sign the citation or the ticket. There's not going to be that. And once we get through this, remind me, I'll share your story how I was in this type of situation on the interstate. And once I let him know that I'm not playing this game, his attitude changed mighty quickly. But we're going to keep it moving here.
All right.
So he signs it. He's good.
Yeah,
no
he's
problem
good.
out of him.
The questions he
now
asked
watch
is fine, you know.
All right, that's your lesson.
He gets his copy of the ticket, and that's it. Moving on.
In a perfect world, in a perfect scenario, this is how it should go.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Now
Come
comes
over here
her.
for me, man.
Same thing.
This is what you didn't
Hey,
see
come here,
in the
man.
media. This is why I said don't listen to the media.
All right, so you're going to receive a ticket for being in the park after hours. All right? Just need to sign right here on the X.
But because we're out of, didn't you say we were out of time, so we wouldn't have known that?
Yeah, but that's not a valid reason why you should be in the park because you're from out of town.
And what's your bag number?
See right there.
7452.
What's your name?
Officer Brooks.
What's your first name?
I'm not going to give you my first name.
Okay, and I don't have to sign this, right?
You do have to sign it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
All right, stop
Like I
right
explained to him, if you don't sign it, then you're going to be physically taken to jail.
Gotcha.
Pause it right here.
So you're refusing to sign?
What's your
right.
name?
So, as an officer, based on what you see
Go ahead,
right
Mike.
here, what is, and I'm gonna ask our viewers this: what is going through my mind as an officer with her responding to me that way? Right out the gate, I'm thinking that okay, I'm gonna have a problem here. You see what I'm saying? This is not going to be as simple as her boyfriend, where I just signed a ticket and give him his copy and send him on their way. She is now creating a problem for me because now she is telling me not that only is she not going to sign the ticket, she's also telling me I don't have to sign the ticket. She don't care what I'm saying as an officer to tell, look, ma'am, you must sign this ticket or I have to take you to jail. She's not listening to all of that. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to explain it to you, but we're not going to sit here as an officer and get into a head-to-head confrontation argument with you about it. Look, either you sign this citation. If you don't, I'm going to have to take you to jail. Now, Corey, when in our department, our common practice as officers, when we came across a situation like this, we would call a supervisor out because we want somebody else there to let them know. Now, I happen to work in an agency where it was easy to call the supervisor out because we were in the city. We weren't on the highway. So it didn't take the supervisor 30 minutes to get to you, right? It took him 5-10 minutes, if that, right? So we called the supervisor and let him know, hey, I got somebody refusing to sign a ticket. And then the supervisor would talk to them and tell them basically the same thing I just told them. And at that point, you got your supervisor witnessing that this person is refusing to sign the ticket. You got me sitting there witnessing her refusal to sign the ticket. At that point, you're going to jail. I'm putting hands on you. You're getting cuffed behind your back, and you're getting booked into jail. And once I go hands on, there is no going back. There is no, wait, I'll sign it. No, it's too late now because I had to put hands on. You see what I'm saying? I could have gotten hurt. The person that I'm dealing with could have gotten hurt. So we're going to keep this clean. Once I go hands on, you're going to jail. What'd you say to that, Corey?
So for us, there is no calling out the supervisor. All right. That's not how state police in Virginia roll. We're not calling the supervisor out. I don't need a supervisor out to tell you I'm taking you to jail. You are refusing. You're obstructing me from doing my duties now. All right. Now, to answer what Tone said, he had a question about explaining about signing a ticket and having it being an admission of guilt. So let me tell you my quick story about what happened to me on the side of the road. So I stopped a guy speeding on the interstate. I forget what it was, 75, 76 into 60, whatever. I pull him over. I go back, run him, write the ticket up, go back to him. And this is what an officer should say. Sir, I'm going to issue you a Virginia. I was in Virginia, a Virginia uniform summons. All right, for a speeding violation of 76 into 60. Court date is this date, Signing it, sir, is not an admission of guilt. It's just stating that you acknowledge you're receiving this and that you will, one, appear in court to testify against this, or you can prepay it. It is a prepayable offense. All right, again, this is not an admission of guilt for signing. And typically, they'll go ahead and sign. But in this case here, this guy, he wants to go ahead and say, well, what happens if I refuse to sign? Okay, I put my clipboard down. I go to open the door. I go to start grabbing him out the car. He go, oh, no, I'm not saying I wouldn't sign it. I was just asking, what happened if I didn't? I said, I don't have time for this. And the funny thing is, you heard his wife over there just like, just sign the damn thing. Quit giving him a hard time. I mean, she was digging into him. And I know why he did it. He had his in-laws in the back seat, and he wanted to try to be like a Billy Badass. Well, he ran into the wrong trooper that day. I wasn't playing that crap with you on the side of the road. I don't have time. It's too dangerous out here. And you want to try to, well, I don't want it. No, there is no policy stating how many times that officer has to ask you to sign the ticket or summons. Right? It's you're going to sign it or you're not. And as soon as you say you're not, some officers, that's all they need to hear, and they're going to take you on to jail. That's it. You'll go in front of the magistrate. If you don't go in front of the magistrate, you'll wait till the next day and you go in front of the judge. But you're going to sign that ticket one way or the other, and you'll sit in jail until you do. All right. It's what you. I don't know. It seems like it's this old myth out there that you don't have to sign these tickets. Yes, you do. What say you, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. And Tone, to your point too, that is common for me to say. That's one of the first things I would say as an officer when I'm issuing a ticket, because I already sometimes can anticipate someone's unwillingness to sign a ticket. They may start to feel that. So I would tell them that was common practice for me to say, listen, this is not an admission of guilt. That's not what you're signing. You're just signing to promise to appear in court, promise to take care of the ticket, basically. Okay. And that's what I tell them. But you'd be surprised. There are people that will still refuse to sign that ticket because in their mind, they're thinking that they're agreeing to what you are saying as an officer.
You're right.
And and that's not the case at all.
No.
Now, is
Not
it a
at all.
requirement for the officer to say those words? This is not an admission of guilt. I never looked at it as a requirement to do that, but it was so commonly said that it was never an issue for me because I said that all the time. However, people don't understand what you're saying. There's some people that won't understand when you say this is not an admission of guilt. So you have to try to explain it to them in layman's terms. Listen, you just promised them to appear in court. That's it, to argue your case. Now, could this officer have tried harder to convince this woman to sign the ticket? That goes by officer. Corey, you might be one that, like you say, you ain't got time to play those games. You know what I'm saying? Look, you gonna sign the ticket or not? If you're gonna sign the ticket, sign. If you're not, okay, turn around, put your hands behind your back. You know what I'm saying? And again, once I go hands on, I ain't going backwards. I'm not saying, okay, I'm gonna let you go unless you sign the ticket. No, once I go hands on, you getting arrested and you getting booked into jail for not signing that ticket.
And I like what he says, you're gonna be arrested with force. Meaning it's not going to be pretty. And like Mike and I have said on many of our shows, when a police officer goes and take you into custody, if you're going to be resistant, it's not going to be pretty. They're going to get you in custody. And it's not pretty. We want it to be pretty by you simply just going ahead and putting your hands behind your back, and we put the handcuffs on, and then that's it. We love for it to be that way.
That's
but
perfect.
We know in reality it doesn't happen that way. So now keep it moving here. You see where we are now. She still refuses. See, you didn't see any of this on the news, right? And you have to ask yourself, well, why didn't they show all this? This would maybe give you a different outlook on how this played out and how it all came about. But hey, it is what it is.
And keep in mind, as you can see, she's doing something on her cell phone while she's asking this officer for his name and badge number. Okay, well, what could you be doing on that cell phone? What could you possibly be doing on that cell phone that's more important than signing this ticket? You see what I'm saying? Are you researching the law or something on there? If that's the case, folks, officers don't have time to wait for you to research the law out there on the street. That's what you go to court for. Okay, so if that's what she's trying to do, this is not the place
and you lawyer up for it.
On the street is not the place to do it. You don't argue the law with an officer on the street. If you think that officer is wrong, that's what you go to court for. You go to court and you say, look, this is why I think this is wrong, such and such and such, such. The law says this, that. That's what the courts are for. You know what I'm saying? Not out on the street. On the street, you do exactly what the officer is instructing you to do. Okay, and move on. Okay, that's what it's about.
Hey, what do you think? You think this is her trying to have her 15 minutes of fame? Like,
it could be. There's some reason.
She stood there and watched her boyfriend go through all this, right? And I'm sure she had to have heard him say, hey, well, what happens if I don't sign it? And she had to have heard him say, hey, well, you can either sign it or you can go to jail. That's it. What did he do? He went on sign. So I'm wondering why she had to flip the script and go miss attitude on this. Like it's just
because she got a wild hair up her ass. She got a wild hair up her ass and decided to be argumentative and stubborn. I mean, as an officer, I'm thinking, please just sign this ticket, ma'am. This is what this means. We can get on the body. We can all get on the body and move on with our day. Okay. Just sign this ticket. I gotta give you this ticket. It's in the park after dark. This is something I'm enforced. I'm putting here. I'm in this park to enforce this ordinance because we having problems. Look, it doesn't matter if you out of town. It's a municipal code violation or whatever it is here in this state. Okay. And you getting a ticket for it. So just sign the ticket so we can all get out of here. I ain't trying to take you to jail. You see what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get in no confrontation with you out here on the street. I'm trying to give you this ticket, let you sign it, give you your copy, press hard 3 copies, and move on. Keyword, move on.
Right. Press hard 3 copies, keep it moving. No, I'm not gonna play with you. This is not why I'm out here. This is not why I'm out here on the side of the road. If you catch me on a good day, hey, look, this is not what you want to do. Right? Do you want to spend the rest of your evening in jail? Then don't sign. And it takes a little bit to educate citizens in situations like this, because I don't know where they're getting this verbiage from that they don't have to sign a ticket and they can be argumentative with the police officers on the side of the road. As we said before in other videos, we're not going to hold court on the side of the road. That's just the wrong place.
And you are escalating
when I was a trooper
something
up there on the interstate now,
yeah.
And you're escalating it, right? You're escalating. See, this is where that acronym CALM comes into play, right? My man, he was the whole CALM acronym. He complied, he answered questions, and he's listening to what the officer said, and he asked questions, which is good.
Yeah. I don't mind if you got some questions. And ask the question. I ain't got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, you got to sign a ticket. If you don't, I got to take you to jail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I got no problem with what this guy did, how he'd handled it.
No problem with him whatsoever. All right, so we're going to keep it moving for time's sake here, because I can keep talking.
Yeah. Officer Brooks, 7452.
What's the badge number?
I gave it to you 2 times, man.
Okay, I'm asking again.
And I'm not giving it to you.
Okay.
Are you going to sign it?
No, because I want your badge number.
That's fine.
Okay, you don't have the liberty of refusing to sign a ticket because you want information. That's not how it works, folks.
No, that's not how it works. And like I say, he gave her his badge number and name and badge number. Folks, it's even on his badge. His name tag is on there. I mean, and when you sign the ticket or summons, when you get your copy, guess what? His name and badge number is on there as well. So what she's doing is just asinine. Like she's setting herself up for failure.
She's being stubborn. She's setting herself up for something way more than this needs to be. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Like is she looking to get into something to where she can sue the city and get paid? What is her motive here? Why are you doing this? It's and like we always say, man, it's just a ticket. All this for a ticket. Like you about to see, like, even I think he was easy on her when he was trying to take her into custody. But I mean,
and just because you're a female, don't think because you're a female, you ain't gonna get hooked. You will.
Hey, listen, man. She said she's not signing it. Put your hands behind your back.
Sir, you're hurting me.
Okay, I'm asking you to put your hands behind your back.
Sir.
Put your hands behind your back.
Sir.
Man, put your hand behind your back. Come on. I need you to back up.
I'm just saying, like,
I need you to back up.
You don't need to touch her like that.
She's not putting her hands behind her back.
I'm asking a question. I'm just all I'm doing is
put your hands behind your back.
Okay, first of all, she's not just asking a question. She's being stubborn and don't want to sign a ticket. You know, this officer's doing everything he should be doing. You see what I'm saying? And now, just so folks understand what's in this officer's mind, is now that I'm getting ready to put hands on her, I now also have to worry about him now, because I don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to physically get involved and try to stop me from arresting this woman? Is he going to hurt me? Is he going to do something physical to now become a threat? So he is now a threat because he's arguing and trying to insert himself into this too. What he should have done and I saw Stacy make that comment a bit ago. What he should have been doing is telling the girl to sign the ticket. That's what he should have been doing.
Right.
But instead, he's talking about you don't have to grab her. But this is what it looks like when you're getting arrested. When I tell you to put your hands behind your back 3 times and you're refusing, what do you think's going to happen next? I'm going to put hands on you. And if I have to put hands on you, it ain't going to be pretty.
And like you said, Mike, it is not going to be pretty for one. And now, once you go hands on, now it's not, I'm going to sign it. I'm going to sign. No, you've already said.
You've already crossed that. Threshold.
So, right. Once I put hands on you, that's it. That's a wrap. Right. Exactly, Mikael. You're going to be eating pavement because you going into custody. You have lost your opportunity to sign it. Once you told me no. Right. There's no policy to say, okay, you got to ask them this many times to sign it. Then you can do this. No, because of, like you said earlier, Mike, the situation we're in, it's dark. We're in the park. You're by yourself. You got 2 people. It's 2 against 1. You don't have time for all this. Now, he did go ahead and call for another unit, which is great. And he's now trying to take her into custody. So now it's not going to pretty. Now she's already screaming just because he has his hand on her elbow. Oh, you're hurting me. Right now, come on. You put yourself in this position, lady. And for what? Like Stacey said, to be famous. Right. I think this is what she was trying to accomplish, Mike.
Probably.
All right, here we go.
Put your hands behind you. You're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back. I asked you to sign the ticket. You told me you're not signing it.
Sir,
put your hands behind your back.
I'm asking you a question.
Okay? I'm letting you know. I'm not going to ask you again. I'm going to forcibly put your hands behind your back.
But, sir, Mr. Brooks, is this really
She know his name now, right?
Mr. Brooks.
Yeah, she knows his name now.
Hey, listen, she needs to put her.
Can I?
Okay, you can put the phone down.
Okay, Mr. Brooks. Oh my God.
Put your hands behind your back.
I'm not saying that I'm refusing to sign the ticket. I'm going to sign the ticket.
You don't have an option now.
Because but I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to sign the ticket. I'm going to sign the ticket.
No, I'm not going to play games with you.
I know, but I'm going to sign. Mr. Brooks, I'm going to. I'm asking you, why am I putting my hands behind my back? I'm going to
and see, now we're up to the point where you saw on
She's about to sign the ticket.
I'm going to sign the ticket.
She's about to sign the ticket. That's all you wanted to do is sign the ticket. That's all it is.
I'm going to sign the ticket.
That's all she to sign the ticket. You told me you're not signing.
I'm going to sign the ticket now, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to sign the ticket. You don't have that option now. Why don't I have the option, Mr. Brooks?
I gave you 2 options.
She was just asking for your badge number at first.
I'm asking for your badge number, and I wasn't clear on why you weren't giving me your badge number.
Sir, you do not have to hold her like that.
Oh my God!
Sir, you do not have to grab her like that.
See, I think he was being very, very nice with this deal.
Sir, you do not have to grab her like that.
I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to sign the ticket. Why am I being arrested?
Too late.
All right, Mike. Yeah, for time's sake, we'll put the link down below.
And you guys can watch the rest of that video. So she ends up getting arrested. She does after a struggle. She ends up getting arrested. But folks, you got to understand, once I say you under arrest, you under arrest. There's no extra, there's no going back, there's no changing nothing. You under arrest, put your hands behind your back. Make sure you follow that CALM acronym and comply. That's the first thing. You don't get to argue while preventing yourself from being arrested. You see what I'm saying? Again, Corey, like we say 100 times on here, that's what court is for. Okay. Once you're getting arrested, folks, put your hands on your back, get arrested, go calmly, peacefully, and argue your case in court. This woman seems like she felt that until she got the answers that she was demanding, that this officer was not supposed to arrest her. That's a misconception, folks. Okay. You don't get to have the answers that you are demanding while I'm trying to arrest you. Your time to ask questions was before you refused to sign that ticket. Okay, that was your time to ask questions.
Right.
And you can ask me all
Right.
day. What happens if I don't sign a ticket like her boyfriend did? I ain't got no problem with that. I'll tell you. Yeah, you got to sign the ticket. By signing this, it's not an admission of guilt. I'll try my hardest to make sure you understand what signing that ticket means. But I'm a patient officer. You see what I'm saying? I'm not, but at the same time, I'm not going to go forever sitting here butting heads with you, trying to explain to you why you need to sign this ticket. You know what I'm saying? Every officer has a different threshold when it comes to their patience with dealing with people on these types of issues. But once I say you under arrest, put your hands behind your back. That's the only thing you need to do. Questions and stuff like that can be asked later. What happened in this situation? This woman realized she was getting ready to be arrested, and she panicked, I think, and was like, "Oh, and I didn't think this was going to happen." I don't know why.
Right.
We told her she was under arrest, and she refused to put her hands. Matter of fact, obviously, she snatched away from him at some point because he had her arm behind her back, but at some point, she must have snatched away and got away again. Bad decision, folks. Bad decision on the citizen part to do that. If I'm putting my hands on you, getting ready to handcuff you, do not snatch away from me, because now you just escalated that contact. Now I have to use more force to try to get you to put your hands behind your back.
Right.
And if you're resisting me by trying to stop me from pulling your arm behind your back, that's resisting, folks. Now I have to use something more. I have to now fight with you. I have to struggle with you to get your hands behind your back. You know what I'm saying? While I'm still having to pay attention to this guy who is putting his 2 cents in, making me feel even more of a threat now, because I don't know if he's going to jump in and get involved. You see what I'm saying?
Right. See, that's what you don't know. That's what you don't know.
That's what you don't know. This woman was all the way wrong with what she done. Had she remained calm, comply, answer questions, listen, and move on, this would have never happened. She would have signed that ticket. Most of it would have happened is she would have went to court. She may not have even gone to court on something like that. It may have been something as a simple fine. Mail a fine in and be done with it. It's just a municipal ordinance, right? It ain't even something that goes on your criminal record or your driving record, right? Not normally.
Right.
And that would have been it.
Yeah. Miguel says, and welcome, Miguel. Thank you for joining us. He says she called his bluff and realized she was suddenly in the world of crap. Yeah. And she wanted that 15 minutes of fame, realized it wasn't what she thought it was going to be. And now she in for what we call a shit show. And she did it all on herself. I have no sympathy for her. You brought this all on yourself. That's why it's so important to follow the acronym of CALM that we've come up with, which is comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Again, because like we say, if you follow these 4 words here and do these things, you're staying calm. You're going to walk away from these situations just like her boyfriend is. Now, the boyfriend get to go home and chill and live his best life. She get to go to jail. All right. Now, what is interesting, again, like I said, this is a pretty lengthy video. So after the show tonight, I'll link the full length of the video down below, and you can check it out at your own leisure. But the reason why I didn't gain all the attention that a lot of these officer-involved incidents happen is because the rest of the backup that arrived, all of those police officers were black. You had 2 black supervisors show up. And I think 3 or 4 other patrol officers showed up that happened to be all black, right? But she was still yelling police brutality. And this is why it got a little attention.
While she was on the ground is for dramatic effect, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
There was no police brutality.
You wasn't yelling and feeling like a victim when you was refusing to sign that ticket. You wasn't yelling and feeling like a victim when you was refusing to put your hands behind your back. Okay. You was a badass when you was refusing to put your hands behind your back. You see what I'm saying? And that's what people need to realize. Tasing She could have easily gotten tased at that moment. Resisting arrest, she could have easily gotten tased. When he pulled that taser out, that's the next step. Taser. And she lucky she didn't get tased. You know, because he very well would have been.
You
That would have
heard
been
the
the reason for
boyfriend,
him
Mike.
to do so.
You
Yes,
heard the
that's why, and
boyfriend's
that's
like,
why I
oh, what,
say
you
that.
gonna taser now?
Right.
All this for a taser? All this for a taser? You gonna taser
No.
really?
No, not all
yeah.
this for a taser. All this for her trying to resist being arrested. That's what all this.
Yeah,
is for.
you're gonna get
You know
tased for this. But see, it would have been my next step for me would have been OC spray because we didn't carry tasers. All right, so next step for me, depending on the situation, would have been OC spray, or if the opportunity didn't arise or wasn't safe enough for me to use OC spray because I don't want to get myself sprayed, is I would have broke out my ass, and I would have show some attention on her thighs, to get her to comply. Right now, you can say what you want, but the officer's always going to be one up on you. I'm going to get your hands behind your back if you ain't going to give me your arm to put you in handcuffs. I'm going to get it because that's what I got to do. I have to be the superiority one, if you will, in this. And that's how it ends. Now, again, did it have to go all out like this? I mean, if she would have stuck to the acronym CALM, Mike, we wouldn't even be here talking about this.
Nope. No, and she'd be went on about her business for something so minor. And again, you know, all this took place because she chose to not comply. She chose to not do what she was supposed to do. None of this would have happened had she just went on and followed her boyfriend's lead, did the same thing. They both would have driven on, went on down the road about their business. But nope. Folks, do not refuse to sign a citation if you end up getting one. And do not demand answers while the officer's trying to arrest you. Once they say you are under arrest, you are under arrest. Ain't nothing more left to say at that point. Look, follow your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Okay? Ain't nothing to say at that point once I say you under arrest. If you under arrest, go ahead, put your hand behind your back so I can easily cuff you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Let's get on. You know what I'm saying? Let's get out on down the road. Okay.
Right.
So you know.
Now, back up. You said something good, Mike. Miranda rights. Now, he ain't got to read no Miranda rights until you get into custody. And this certainly you have until you get down to what we call lockup. I believe you say down to booking, to read you your Miranda rights. If there's nothing to investigate, there's certain situations where you don't have to read no Miranda rights. But I would tell my guys that I train, you know, the standard practice, just go ahead and do it anyways, because you're always going to have that one who want to blurt out, oh, well, he didn't read my Miranda rights. Well,
yeah, and I said that term loosely, but Miranda, this is another big issue sometimes for some citizens. Really, the whole purpose of Miranda rights is if I'm going to question you about what you're doing or what I think you did, then you need to know what your rights are before you answer me. Okay, I shouldn't be questioning you about this crime, like you say, Corey, the investigation. I shouldn't be questioning you during this investigation without having read you your rights once I say you are under arrest.
Right.
Okay. Especially after I say you are under arrest. When you are in custody, there is no questioning until I have read you your rights. You see what I'm saying? Now, in this situation, you know, this wasn't a situation where he needed to read her rights. But what she should have done was stopped all that drama noise she was causing, all that fake, you know, setting it up for trying to get maybe a lawsuit out of the city, which she might. You know, cities like to settle stuff like that because they didn't want to waste time going to court with it. Now, not that the officer was wrong, but sometimes it just ain't worth.
You gotta have something there first.
True. You know, maybe she was trying to set up her whole situation, thinking that she was going to get a fat check from the city, and she may, you know what I'm saying? But I don't see nothing that this officer did that was excessive or unreasonable or wrong at all.
Right. He explained the whole thing just like he told the boyfriend, explained it to the boy, and rather simple. You sign, you have a choice. Either you sign it or you're going to go to jail. Oh, that's simple enough for me. I'm going to sign it. But it doesn't have to be this way, and this is what we try to explain on our shows is if you follow the acronym CALM and try and don't sit out here and try and get 15 minutes of fame.
I
You're gonna
like
be fine.
what Mike says. He says there's no such animal as unarrest.
Right.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no unarrest. There's there's arrested or you ain't. And once I say you're under arrest, you under arrest. You know
And right now, the only way that's going to happen, and that would be the only time I want to call out a supervisor, is when I taking you already down to lockup.
Right. You've already right. And then if something comes up and they say, and I realize that I don't have enough here to confirm that you committed the crime. I say that loosely, but something along those lines, we can then what we call 849B you, which is saying, yeah, I did arrest you, but now I'm letting you go for this reason. We had a form. I don't know about you guys, Corey, but we had a form like that. It was called an 849B form. And it was a form that we filled out, had them sign, and we let them go. Either we needed more investigation or whatever the reason was, or we obtained some information that proved that you didn't do something or something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? But folks,
yeah, we just had to do it in front of the magistrate. The magistrate had the authority to go ahead and do that, but we had to call out the supervisor because they had to do their part in it. But yeah, so leave us a comment below if you like the content of this video. Leave us also tell us what your thoughts are on this. You know, did the officer act unreasonable, or what a reasonable officer would have done? I think he was a little bit too nice in handling. I would have probably been just a little bit more aggressive, but that's just me. Mike would probably been like my man here.
Yeah, nice. I mean, you can always you can always come up with degrees of how he should have or could, how you would have handled it, how I would have handled it as an officer, how he would have handled it as an officer. There's always a degree of something, right?
Everybody's going to handle it different.
Right. And like I said earlier, you know, you have some officers that may be more patient than other officers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just depends on you come by. But again, no matter what kind of officer you come across, once they say you under arrest, put your hands behind your back, that's exactly what you better do. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't want nothing else to happen besides that. And I don't care if you agree with it or not. You are not entitled to an explanation before you're arrested. You see what I'm saying? You're not entitled to an explanation before you are arrested. If I'm saying that, if you guys,
and I think that's the important part. Like yeah, I think we just lost quick connection. But hey, thank you all again for joining us tonight. Make sure you hit this like, share, and subscribe button. And we'll be back next week with another topic to discuss. And share this out with your friends and the family. Let them know, hey, you don't have an option to not sign a ticket. If you don't sign a ticket, you're going to jail. So tell your loved ones, hey, just sign the ticket. Don't argue. Just sign the ticket and move on. So stay calm, comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Move on. There you go. All right, y'all have a blessed rest of your week and a great weekend, and we will be back next Thursday, same time, same sandbox.
Yeah.
Peace
out.